love you to interact with us today during the workshop. So please say hello and chat to us in the chat panel. Or if you have any questions, then please make use of the Q&A option in Zoom. So just check for the Q&A section in your Zoom, and we will try and answer your questions throughout the workshop. If not, and we need a little bit of time, then we will hopefully stay online at the end, and we will try and help you out there right at the end of the session. But please let us know what you think about some of the things that you see. And speaking of that, I just want to remind everybody that we have a monthly competition where you could win a 5,000 Rand iStore gift card. So to enter, just post a picture of your home setup while watching the workshop. Maybe even post some tips that you learned from a workshop. If something really bowls you over and you're excited about the session today, then please let us know. All you have to do then is maybe share some photos or illustration on top of all these other things. And you can share this to Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag iStoreMeets. Just a reminder, Instagram and Facebook stories, unfortunately, are not entered into the competition draw. But other than that, please, guys, feel free, of course, to go out there and just share all those moments of how you are setting yourself up during lockdown and some tips and techniques that you enjoyed from the session. So let's kick things off with a little bit of staying active with Apple Watch, right? This is what we're going to be talking about today. And again, guys, we have got lots of exciting stuff to cover today. I see already things are starting to come through during the workout as their way that shows right. So again, we're going to be talking about all these things as things jump through. So let's get it started. Let's kick it off. What I'm going to do, though, for just a moment is I'm going to switch my camera on so I can see everybody out there. So hello, everybody. Hello, wide world out there. It's nice to have everybody on the line. As mentioned, my name is Alon. I'm excited to have you with me. And I have my colleague, Marius, joining me as well. So Marius, how are you doing out there today?
Hello, Alon. And yeah, thank you. I'm doing well today. It looks like a nice day in Joburg. I'm not sure what it's like where everyone is at, but today looks like a fine day for a workout, right?
Yeah, absolutely, right? But of course, you know, we're thinking, oh, I want to get out there, I want to work out, I want to be active, but I'm in this lockdown mode, right? So what do I do? So Marius, today we are going to go through some great tips and techniques to learn a little bit more about Apple Watch and also how it can help you stay active. So let's kick it off. Let's get started, everybody. We're going to be covering a whole variety of fitness features. And I think we need to remember that Apple Watch today is the #1 fitness device in the world, right? People love this product. It's actually gone on to become the #1 selling watch in the world. And notice how we don't even say smartwatch. It's actually become the #1 selling watch, period. And it also has the highest customer satisfaction rate. People absolutely adore their Apple Watches once they try them out. So we're quite excited to tell you about how it does so many of the things that it can do, but of course also some of the fitness capabilities, right? So there's a whole host of things that we want to talk about today, including workouts and heart rate, as you can see on the screen there, right? And customization to make it easier to do all these things. So let's get started with the basics. So Morris, I think everybody needs to remember that the basics here are tracking our activity. And the way we do this is with these activity rings. So guys, you will notice if you've got your Apple Watch that you've got those 3 circles, right? And those circles will be found in what we call the activity app. So you can go into the activity app on your watch and you can access these rings. These activity rings are guiding you and motivating you to close these rings every single day. And of course, what do they correspond to? They correspond to move, exercise, and stand. So every day your goal is to close these rings. Now we're in a lockdown, we're trying to be a bit more active, and what's great is the Apple Watch has lots of techniques here that can help you with closing of the rings. So let's start, for example, talking about that move ring. Now the move ring, remember everyone, is tracking the calories. Apple Watch, of course, is able to track your movement. So it can track steps through heart rate, it can see how hard your body is working to burn that energy. So what's really great here is you can then get a goal that you set for yourself to say, I want to burn this many calories a day. And it's a very important part of our health journey and staying active to see the calories we're burning, right? If we're putting food or energy into our system, we of course want to burn that off and stay active. So what's great here with the move goal, everybody, is that when you first put on your Apple Watch, and anybody who's already got one, you might have noticed that it asks you your age, are you male or female? How tall are you? Are you a little bit active? Are you very active? And then it sets you a goal. And I think what's really nice with the move goal is that you can then actually change this yourself. So I don't know if anybody's tried this, but we're in a lockdown period now, and you can actually change it yourself. So Maurice, I don't know, for yourself as well, I don't know if you've been feeling, my Apple Watch, I get this daily goal, and now I'm in lockdown, what do I do? Were you maybe thinking, hang on, I can actually just change this goal? Did you find that quite helpful with the Apple Watch?
Yeah, I think that's true. So I think we need to keep in mind that our activity is going to maybe change. We're not going to the gym as often. We maybe not out and about as often. So potentially we need to update our goals just to kind of make it a little bit more relevant, I think, for being at home. So this can be done quite easily, and I think we'll look at it quite in detail in a second. Maybe something also what I thought about is it might be good to have a good starting point. So, for instance, you might want to check your daily activities for a day and see how many calories you'll burn on a normal day, maybe being at home, and then you can almost use that as a baseline and say, okay, maybe I want to increase that by 10% or 20%.
Absolutely right. This is where the Apple Watch is almost like a coach on your arm. And I think what's great here is that move goal, remember, is customizable. So we're going to show you in a moment how you can change this and how you can set this up to work for you. But keep in mind as well, what's really wonderful is that there's the exercise ring as well. And all doctors around the world are going to recommend that you get 30 minutes of exercise a day. Now, this doesn't mean that you got to go out there and just run up and down your garden, or if you've got steps in your house, run up and down the steps for 30 minutes. What's great here is you can break this up into manageable chunks. So you can say, you know what, I'm going to do 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Maybe I feel a bit brave. I'm going to do another 15 minutes later on. And you can keep on adding up these values until you get to that 30-minute benchmark. So this is something that's not customizable because, again, it's very important to make sure that your heart rate is up and that your body is moving for around 30 minutes a day. So even if that does mean, jumping out to the garden and playing with the kids, or, running up and down with the dogs, making sure that instead of just sitting down and doing some work like a lot of us are doing, and maybe even just watching TV, getting up here and there and moving around and getting that body moving. Guys, how can we be inspired to exercise a bit more and get our heart rates going? So the Apple Watch is going to guide you to make sure that you close that exercise ring. And then finally, speaking of what I said a moment ago, a lot of us are sitting and working. We are watching a lot of TV maybe and catching up, which is great. During this lockdown period, we're very stressed and we need to relax. But the important thing here is that we need to stretch our bodies. We need to get moving. And so if there's been a period of no activity for about 50 minutes, right? If you sit down, the Apple Watch can kind of detect that there's been no motion and heart rate and increase. And of course, there have been no steps that are being taken. So what can happen here is that the Apple Watch at this point will remind you to stand. And you get a little vibration, you get a little beep on your arm to tell you, hey, it's time to stand. So the goal here is to stand and move around for about a minute in every hour, just to get some steps, just to get the body moving. And this is going to happen for 12 hours of the day. So once you've got that Apple Watch on, every hour it's going to say, hey, listen, if you haven't been moving, I'm going to remind you that you need to stand. This is amazing, guys. We're not moving our bodies enough. Think of the lifestyle we have today, right before lockdown. My goodness, Maurice, I'm sure we can all agree on this. You sit in the car for an hour on the way to work, then you sit in front of your computer for 8 hours, then you get home, you're another hour in the car, you come home so tired, what do? We put the TV on and we're sitting again. So this is just really, really brilliant to think, wow, we've got a standing reminder here, right? I mean, Maurice, have you noticed that maybe when we were at the office and maybe if you were in a meeting or in training, did you notice that people's behavior was changing due to this, or was it just a nice feature on the Apple Watch? What did you notice here?
Yeah, I like it. So I think I like the reminder in terms of it's not something you have to think about so much. It's something that actually comes up on your wrist, and you get a little reminder. So what we actually saw at the office is you can see those people standing up randomly, like, hold on, why is this person standing at his desk? So quite often it was because the Apple Watch was reminding them. So I think what's happening at the moment, people are at home. There's maybe not so many places to go to. So maybe people are sitting down a little bit more, maybe on the couch, like you said, or at the desk, or at the dining room table. So it's nice to have a little reminder just every now and then to kind of keep you focused on having to stand up from time to time.
Absolutely right. It's the ultimate fitness companion, right? And it's just there to help your lifestyle a little bit. But by the way, remember everyone, we said we're in a lockdown, or even when we come out of lockdown and you maybe want to change that goal, aspire to something a bit different perhaps in the future. Well, what's really great here, guys, is if you are on that activity app, so if you've got that activity app open on your Apple Watch, all you do is what we call a force touch. You just give a nice hard push on that screen, and the screen's going to vibrate under your finger and it's going to open up a menu. So if you've got the activity app, give it a nice hard push and you can see two things. You can see the weekly summary. As Mario said, you can kind of get an idea of how you've been tracking on the last couple of days and go, oh, Monday was pretty good. Tuesday, I let it slip a little bit. Maybe I need to step it up today. And you can change your move goal. You can just right there live on your wrist say, you know what? My watch has been asking me to burn 400 calories a day. Let me just pop it down to 300 to make it feel like I can achieve it and start working towards a goal again. So this is actually really, really brilliant. By the way, everybody, don't forget that every Monday, your Apple Watch is going to send you a summary. You're going to put that Apple Watch on in the morning. It's going to go, last week you hit your calorie goal 4 out of 7 days. Well done, right? And you scroll to the bottom and it's going to advise you, maybe you should up the goal a bit or down it if you haven't been hitting that goal enough. So this is actually brilliant that you've got this tracking system on your arm that can say, look, let me keep you up to date whenever you need it. I'll send you a weekly reminder, but you can also force touch, give a nice hard push, and you can change that goal whenever you need it. So that is really, really convenient now that we know that. So something else, of course, important then, guys, how do we track our fitness? How do we track our workouts? We had a question about workouts as soon as we started up here, right? And of course, very important, this is what people do. We're tracking our workouts. So we have the workout app. Again, remember, if you push that digital crown, you push that round digital crown, and that's going to take you into the screen of apps that you've got on your Apple Watch. And of course, you want to look for that running man in the circle. That is your workout app. And there are incredible workouts that you can do here that are just available at the touch of a button, quick and easy. And the thing is, a lot of us go to this workout app and we're thinking of the traditional stuff. We're thinking, let me go do an outdoor walk or run. A lot of people think maybe I'll cycling or something, swimming maybe even, which is really popular. I know Marius has loved to track it for swimming because the Apple Watch is water resistant to 50 meters, so it can handle this. But again, it's one of the many things that you can do. We're finding ourselves indoors now. And so, Marius, I don't know if you've been inspired to maybe try some different workouts and just try something a little bit new instead of saying, well, let me just do another outdoor run one more time.
Yeah, quite right. So I think what happened initially, and I think this might be the case for a lot of us, is when we started with the lockdown, we didn't put our Apple Watches on every day because we were like, okay, we don't need all the notifications. We don't need to have it on all our gear. We don't put all our accessories on necessarily. But then after a few days, I realized, hold on, maybe this is actually not a bad thing to put on because of all these little reminders we're talking about. And exactly that. So then I got to, and one of the ones I wanted to do was a little stair stepper. So we've got this little stair stepper that's hanging around, below the bed. Usually, we don't usually use it, but it turned out it's quite a nice little handy one to use at home. So, and again, in the Apple Watch on the workout app, this was one of the options we had, and yeah, it was nice and easy to do. I liked it.
That's awesome. And again, you see, so Marius found the stair stepper. Guys, how many of us are maybe going to try something like yoga, which is really great? So this is something, again, that we don't think about. Oh, hold on. The Apple Watch can actually track my movements during a yoga workout. This was something that was added quite recently in one of the new bits of software with the Apple Watch. It's quite amazing, right? Any one of you thinking this is a wonderful opportunity to try this out, the Apple Watch is going to guide you and it's going to show you how to do this. As Marius mentioned, the stair stepper. Just like Marius, I've got one that's sitting at home and I've always thought, I go to the gym, I see this thing there next to my couch, but who needs it? And suddenly I was inspired to go, you know what? Maybe it's time to try it out. So I tapped on stair stepper and I started this little workout and the Apple Watch was able to track my activity really, really brilliantly. And here's the thing, if you might not see this at first, just keep in mind, you might not see these, then this is where the Apple Watch is designed for your workouts, whatever you want to do. So you go into the workout app and you start scrolling through, right? Remember, you slide up and down or scroll with the crown. And you can move up and down the list and you'll see outdoor walk, indoor run, you'll see all these things. But if you keep going down the list, you'll eventually find, as we said, yoga and stair stepper and hiking and cycling, swimming, all these great features. If you don't find the one that you're looking for, don't panic. Go all the way to the bottom of the workout page. And right at the bottom, there's an option to add workout. You can add your own customized workout. There's something for other, and you can just kind of label it whatever you want. So if you want to do some weights or whatever it is, you can just label it anything you need. Or you can go through dozens and dozens of workouts. Again, if you don't see stair stepper, you can just go through, add workout, and add it to the list, and so on and so forth. There's even things for like fitness gaming. All of you gamers out there that have been sitting catching up on gaming. I know I'm guilty as charged over the weekend, catching up on my gaming, right? And so the whole exciting thing here is you actually do fitness gaming, believe it or not, to get that body moving, right? By the way, the goals for your workout are actually really easy to track. So I don't know if everybody can see, but next to that stair stepper, for example, that we've got at the moment, there's those 3 little dots. And if I tap on those dots, I can customize this a bit further. I can then give myself an open goal, which means I can say, right, I just want to work out for as long as I feel like, burn a bit of calories, do a little bit of time, get some distance here, get my heart rate up, and that's it. That's all I want. I want to set this for my own benefits, right? But what's very cool is you can also then set a goal based on calories or based on time. You say, I want to do 15 minutes on this step, and then you can set a 15-minute goal. I want to burn 200 calories, and you can set a 200-calorie goal. So this is where the customization of the workout becomes amazing, everyone. You can literally select the workout you want, tap those three dots, and just like that, you customize it further to get the goal that is important to you. Remember, we are in a lockdown, as Maurice and I were saying, so you want to try and make sure that things work according to your needs, very, very importantly. Now, how does the Apple Watch track this? How does it know that it can get a certain amount of calories burnt or get your body moving and find out how many minutes of exercise you've been doing? It all comes down, of course, to a heart rate sensor. And the heart rate sensor here is phenomenal, guys. We're talking medical grade heart rate sensing capabilities. And what does it do? It uses these sets of different lights, right? Some infrared lights, these green LED lights. And it does this to be able to track 100% accurately the beats per minute of the body, and it can actually see how hard your heart is beating. Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. You'll notice on that screen, I can go into the heart rate app on my Apple Watch, and I can see the current heart rate. That's very, very wonderful. But what's really nice is you'll notice at the bottom of the screen there, it says 6 minutes ago, it also did a reading. The Apple Watch is actually reading your heart rate throughout the day, not just when you go to the app and say, tell me my heart rate, not just when you're in a workout and you want to know maybe, for example, how is my heart going during this run, but also very importantly, guys, it does it throughout the day. So it does this for many, many reasons. Again, just keep in mind, we're speaking about working out, staying active. The Apple Watch not only shows you your current heart rate and heart rate throughout the day, it does a graph on this, but it also is going to show you your recovery heart rate. So at the end of a workout, right, once your heart rate is kind of spiked up, it shows you how your heart rate recovers, which is a very, very important factor of our health. But it's something we're not aware of if we don't have something like this on our arm. So Maurice, it's going to do these incredible things, right? It's going to also track heart rate, before and after. And again, it's not something that I was ever aware of before I had an Apple Watch. But did you find that this was quite an interesting thing to keep a track of in terms of your workouts and your day-to-day lifestyle? How did you find this for yourself?
Yeah, I think so. It's because I think you can start a workout and you can do your thing and you can feel tired and you can kind of just do another workout the next day. And kind of that's fine, I guess, for a lot of people. But I think as soon as you start looking at your heart rate, you kind of almost take it to another level where you can see like what are the zones you're exercising in. So then you can start investigating maybe where you want your heart rate to be, for instance, in a particular zone to kind of push you a little bit harder. And I think especially like you said, the recovery time and how your heart rate recovers after an exercise, these are all things you can start tracking just to kind of make sure you are staying or keeping fit as much as you can. I think another important one is kind of keeping track of your resting heart rate. So looking maybe what your heart rate is in the morning, first thing is you get up, and maybe start doing a habit where you check these things so you can kind of see how your health improves and how your heart rate improves and how it comes down as you stay active over time.
Absolutely. These are all important things. So Maurice, just to go to some of the questions we had, somebody was asking, during a workout, is there a setting that shows your average heart rate? So we actually had this a little while ago, somebody asked. And something to keep in mind when it comes to that question is the Apple Watch doesn't know how long your workout is going to be. So it can show you your average heart rate at the end of the workout. It doesn't know if you're going to be working out for 10, 15, 20. So it can't make an average because it doesn't know the average at this point. If you decide to end it after 5 minutes, it might have shown you an average. And then next thing you say, well, let me change my mind. Let me add another workout, because you can do that with the Apple Watch. So it's hard to know what the average is because you haven't actually started and ended the workout. And therefore the watch will only calculate the average at the end of the workout when it's got all the minutes to play with. Also, we're getting another question. We're getting this all the time, Marius, ECG, right? This is an important thing. So ECG, guys, we know that it's available on our Apple Watches in Series 4. We now even have Series 5. It's an available thing on the watch, right? It's built in. It's a feature, but it hasn't been switched on for our region. And yes, it's unfortunate. Yes, it's very sad, right? But of course, let's talk about it. The reality here, guys, is that this needs to be approved by the medical boards of each country. So in America, they might have approved it, or in Canada or Australia, right? But from here, we just need approval. And as soon as it's approved, that feature will be switched on. Your watch will do a software update, and we will be able to take that feature and use it. How incredible. And this is so exciting because it's not just a good feature to have, it's a life-saving feature. So guys, the watch can do it, and we are just hoping that we get news on this soon. When do we think it will be available? Yeah, Reese, again, I'm with you, right? I mean, I'm telling you, I'm literally sitting and praying each day that this comes because, as mentioned, it saves lives. So we don't have a final answer on this at this point. We are just keeping our eye out on it and saying, look, we're hoping it will be very soon, right? That's all we can say. So I promise you, the minute that it is available, though, we will communicate this and it will be all over and everybody will know about it the minute it becomes available. So just keep your eyes open on that, guys. Hopefully not too much longer. Somebody just wanting to know how long could we stay, right? Since the series always changes. Well, remember, it changes once a year. So just like iPhone, it's literally once a year. And if you look at it at this point, the latest watch operating system from Apple, the software, is compatible with the Apple Watch down to Series 2. Guys, remember, we're on Series 5, right? So this means that you can keep your Apple Watch for as long as you are comfortable and as long as it's compatible with the software, right? There's no reason to think, oh my goodness, my watch is not going to work. It still works with the software. So this is quite exciting. So Lee also just wanting to know about heart rate. What can a healthy heart rate be? So Lee, again, there's many factors that come into this, right? We're going to have to get into a whole medical discussion here, but there's many factors that come into play. It depends on age and male versus female. And there's so many different things here, right? But as a general rule, let's put a general rule out there, guys. If we're talking about resting heart rate, meaning like what Marius and I are doing now, just sitting, talking to you guys are sitting, watching a video, standard resting heart rate for a healthy adult, guys, anywhere between 60 and 100 beats per minute. If you're in that range, it's okay. We're not going to think at any point, oh my goodness, something's wrong or we need to run to the doctor. Anywhere between 60 and 100, it's going to be okay. Keep in mind though, if you're super healthy, you might have a friend who's a marathon runner. It might suddenly find that their heart rate is, I don't know, maybe it's going to be just under 60. It's going to be 55, 54. That's absolutely fine, guys. Remember, this is okay because it means that their heart rate, of course, is very healthy. It means that their heart is resting. And if you're closer to 100, it's not a problem. It's just something to keep an eye on. So just something there, that point of view. And to said so, we'll definitely stay on the line and tell you some of the differences between the series in just a little bit. But speaking of getting your heart rate tracked, I think Maurice even mentioned this earlier. I was talking about this, right? Is that it's all about coaching. The watch is the ultimate coach. It's there to help you and say, look, I know how you're going to get your ultimate fitness happening here. And this is pretty exciting because what happens then is at the end of the day, if you've maybe burnt 300 out of 400 calories and you think, oh, that's it, the watch will suddenly tell you at some point, hey, guess what? Your ring should be a little bit further on. And look at this, guys. I even got a notice the other day. I put my Apple Watch on after not wearing it for a couple of days. Like Maria said, I just thought, why do I need to put this on? And then what's really brilliant here is the Apple Watch said, hang on, Alon, you know that your rings are normally a bit further by this point. Why don't we try being a bit more active today? So it actually coached me and said, you can do this. And this is for all of them. It is for the stand goal. It's for the exercises, for the move goal. And Morris, this is great. It means that I'm going to get a little notice in the middle of the day saying, hey, you know, maybe you should try to be a bit more active and let's get to those goals. But is this going to happen just in the middle of the day or maybe at the end of the day if I'm tired, I've done 27 out of 30 minutes. And then if I get to the end of the day and I sit down, is that it? Does the watch, you're tired, I'll leave you alone now?
No, I think you're right. So I think what's really cool is it tracks all those things. So we're talking about exercise, we're talking about activity, we're talking about stand. And pretty much for all of them, when you get close to reaching your goal, it'll kind of remind you, or maybe if you, and it's not only even on a day. So maybe you've done, let's say 3 days in a row, we closed all your rings. It'll say, hold on, that was great. Maybe another 3 days and you can almost get to a week. You know, so I like how it almost encourages you not only on a day, but also to kind of get a whole week's worth. So yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Again, and then I think what's really great here is at the end of the day, I cannot tell you how many times I've come home, I've done maybe 27, 28 out of 30 minutes, and I see that ring almost close, and I go, you know what, it's fine. I'll get it another time. And I sit on the couch, and the watch kind of feels that, hold on, wait a minute, you're now sitting, there's no change in heart rate, you know, it hasn't increased, there's no steps happening. What's going on here, right? So this is actually where it's actually brilliant, because suddenly my watch turns around and goes, hang on, I want you to achieve that goal. Did you know that if you went for a quick 2-minute walk, you're going to hit that goal? Guys, it's a personal trainer. It's a coach on your arm. How amazing is this, guys? I can't wait. It's really, really exciting stuff. So this for me is just going to really say, you know what? This is the ultimate coaching companion. It's the ultimate fitness companion, because you get to the end of the day and you don't think, well, there's no way for me to track this, right? Instead, it's going to say, I am going to help you with this, right? See, there we go. If somebody was even asking, what are the normal calories that should be set at? So again, there's no kind of norm here. As we say, it's really up to you and your fitness goal. And the Apple Watch is only going to be there for what you want to achieve. It's going to give you a recommendation, keep in mind. Once you put in, as I say, your age, your height, it's going to ask you if you're a little bit active or very active. It's going to give you a suggestion. And that's always a good place to start, because the Apple Watch can work out a lot of these metrics. But if you want to change this as you wish, it's completely up to you. The calorie goal is totally based on what you would want, right? So again, here's the thing. Somebody writing, I have series 1. I wanted to know with updates, don't really have swimming or yoga, or there we go, right? So keep in mind series 1s, again, it was not water resistant in the same way that the watches from series 2 and up are water resistant. So that one is not going to have a swimming option because it's not a swim proof watch. It has basic water resistance capabilities. And of course, also things like yoga, as we say, were on some of the recent software updates, right? So sometimes, Morris, by the way, as well, something very, very exciting is people want to know, okay, so I've got this coaching happening. It's reminding me every day. But I don't know about you, the thing that can motivate all of us sometimes is that bit of a challenge, is that little bit of a push. And so what's great here is we have the challenge option available. How cool is this? So Maurice, what is this all about? Hold on, I've heard some of my friends, they've challenged me to these things in the past, and I don't know if you've ever tried a fitness challenge before. What is happening here? The Apple Watch can do challenges with friends? Tell us more about this.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's another one of those features that allows us just to, I think, be more active. And the Apple Watch is going to help us with that by doing something called challenges or competitions. So essentially what you can do is once you've shared your activity with someone, so on the Apple Watch, you can kind of swipe on activity, on the activity app, you can swipe to the side, you can add people to that so they can kind of track progress of what you're doing per day. And that's maybe a start of that. So you can maybe have your wife or your husband or someone on there, and they can see if you're closing your rings or not. So maybe that's where it starts. But then for those people who wanted to take a step further, you can then almost challenge someone. So you can like start a little competition. And I think this is awesome because I know a lot of us, we get motivated if there's someone that, helps us to get there. If you're just doing it on your own, you kind of might feel a bit lazy one day and no one is really maybe tracking it, and that's fine then. But what you can do here is you can then challenge someone, and essentially it's going to be a 7-day challenge. And day by day, it's going to see who's closed their rings, who's done the most closed, obviously, all the activity rings and the exercise rings and all these things. And at the end of the day, hopefully, you'll have a winner, right? So I've done this a couple of times. Unfortunately, I think I chose a couple of friends who were very active, so I lost out on those. But it gave me a bit of motivation. I think this is what it's all about.
Nice, fantastic stuff. I like that. I see we got somebody wanting to know about some credit cards on the watch. We're going to tell you about that in just a moment, guys. Just so you know, speaking about this challenge, like Marius mentioned, really, really fantastic to think that, again, I don't know if everybody is aware of this, right? But this is where things get amazing, is that you earn points for every time you hit one of these goals. So look at that, right? We're looking at like the move goal and the exercise goal and the calories and all these amazing things that you can keep on trying to hit. And as you hit these goals, you get points. As you saw on the graph before, the person with the most points at the end of the 7-day competition wins the challenge. You get yourself a little trophy that you can kind of share with your friends and show off, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So this is awesome, 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 right? But people wanted to know, right, Manenka, can you do challenges on Series 3? Absolutely. It's compatible with the latest software. You absolutely can do challenges on that. And then somebody just writing again, the Apple Watch doesn't potentially detect things like ab exercises. They've got the Series 5 Nike, something I should be concerned about. So again, right, keep in mind, you moving your body, it's going to be able to track the movement. It's going to be able to track things like your heart rate increase, but it might obviously not know things about what's happening with your stomach, right, at that point. But however, we are going to show you a couple of things towards the end of the session that hopefully can help you with that. So stay on the line. Hopefully you've got some exciting stuff for you. And then again, we've got the same thing about, I see somebody's really excited about this thing of, credit cards and Apple Pay. We don't know, guys, unfortunately, at this point. Remember, it needs to be, we need two things here. We need the banks to approve this. We need the banks to say, yes, the credit cards are Apple Pay ready. And based on the credit card that you've got in your pocket being linked to the bank saying you can do Apple Pay, then that's when we'll launch Apple Pay, right? So we're just waiting for the go-ahead at that point. The other thing, of course, is all the shops need to get a little box, right? The little box connects into all the pay terminals, and then you can bring your Apple Watch, your iPhone, etc., near that terminal and do Apple Pay. So this is just something that we are waiting, right, for the banks to give us the go-ahead. Hopefully it won't be too much longer, everybody, and then all our products are ready to go. How do I set up a challenge? Lee wants to know. Nice and easy, guys. All you got to do, you go into the Watch app, right? So remember, everybody's got that Watch and the Activity app on their iPhone once it's connected to your watch. All you do then, everybody, I'm just going to do it here just to give you guys the steps, right? You go into the Activity app. Once you're in the Activity app, in the bottom right, it's got the word sharing. You tap on the word sharing, and then the top right of your screen, there's a little plus. You tap on the plus, you type in the name of a contact or a friend or a family member that you want to challenge, that you want to share, let's say, for example, your activity with. Once you are sharing your activity with that friend, you tap on their name and a little option comes up, compete with. So that's all I do. I go to the activity, I say sharing, I add someone to my sharing list, and now we can see each other's activity. And when I tap on their name in the list of people I've added, it says, would you like to compete? And I start a competition. And that is it. Simple as that, right? So as we say, guys, it's all about getting awards. It's all about progressing and making it feel like we've done things better every day. And I think sometimes, the way to stay active and the way to stay motivated is to get that award. Your Apple Watch saying, well done, let me show you the reward. So look at this, guys. Did you know that you can actually track all the awards that you've picked up? This, for me, guys, has become quite an obsession, right? There's a monthly award that you can win. There's new records for things that you can set for yourself and try to achieve that. So this, for me, has been really, really motivating to say, hold on, I want to get myself something a little bit more in line with what I'm looking to achieve, right? Hang on, I don't just want to do the same walking every day, the same fitness every day. I want to get a little bit better. I want to earn something for this. So you can almost go and see your trophy cabinet, right? You can do this on the Apple Watch. You can do this on the activity app on your iPhone. Great things. Whenever you hit yourself a new record, it's also going to say, hey, well done. You've achieved this new record. It gives you a little trophy out there that you can, share with your friends and family. It's really, really exciting. And this has been one of those things with the Apple Watch is saying, I'm not just there as something that's just a fitness device. I'm there as a companion. I'm there to show you that we're on this fitness journey together, which is what it's all about. So put that Apple Watch on every morning, guys, and it's going to guide you to make sure that you hit these rewards. It's quite awesome stuff. By the way, I don't know about you, everybody, but the one thing that gets me through a workout is, of course, my music. And maybe you guys can tell me in the chat line, right? Can you imagine doing a workout without music? I cannot picture this. I mean, Maurice, I'm sure you're going to tell us the same thing, right? And I suddenly realized, hang on, one of my favorite things when I started looking back on this was the ability to, let's say, load some music onto my Apple Watch, right? I could maybe download a couple of albums that I was listening to at the moment. I could make a playlist for myself and sync that onto the watch. Apple Music as well is going to show you things that are your favorites and you can just kind of drop them on. This is really, really awesome stuff. But what this means, guys, is that you can then leave your phone at home, right? I can then go with a set of Bluetooth headphones like the AirPods or Beats or any Bluetooth headphones, of course, because the Apple Watch has Bluetooth. And then I can go for a run around my neighborhood. And thanks to GPS capabilities within the watch, it will show me the exact map of where I've run. And I can see that later on down the line. But I don't even need my phone with me. So, Maurice, I mean, for you, how has this been, being able to have some music or having something with you on the go and maybe a set of headphones recommend to everyone that you've really been enjoying?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what you're saying. It helps you kind of maybe just with motivation. So you're out and about, you may be doing that stair stepping or maybe out in the garden, you're doing something active. And I think the music just kind of gives you a bit of an extra boost, right? So I think what's nice and it worked really well for me is using Apple Music with this. So Apple Music has got some awesome playlists, and there's some playlists like for things like, activity and running and going to the gym. Obviously not really going out at the moment anywhere far, but we can still use the same playlist. And for me, using my AirPods, it just helps me to kind of be more active. So I really encourage everyone to use music when they're doing their workouts.
Yeah, definitely. It makes a big change, right, as well. And again, I mean, the AirPods are such a wonderful thing to have because of that capability of what the AirPods can do, switching from our devices. I can be listening to music on my iPhone, or I can be attending a Zoom meeting on my Mac. But then when I want to go for a run with my Apple Watch, I literally just tap a button and the AirPods switch to my Apple Watch. I don't have to disconnect them from the one device, reconnect them, start the pairing process. It just instantly switches from Apple to Apple product. Amazing, right? By the way, Morris, it's not just music, right? We have some other options as well for our podcasts. So again, this has been pretty exciting. We can actually go and say, you know what, maybe I'm just going for a walk around the garden, getting those couple of 5-10 minutes of activity because the Apple Watch said, hey, stand and walk around for a minute. So what's great here is that I can then go and listen to podcasts, guys. So if there's anything that you've been enjoying on Apple's podcast, go for it. Sync those into your Apple Watch and you can walk around and actually learn some things, catch up on your favorite hobbies or skills, just catch up on some news in the podcast. Really, really exciting stuff. And sometimes this is exactly what I'm looking for. So before we jump into just another little section here, I'm getting some questions. Any idea when the cellular Apple Watch will be supported in South Africa? So Morris, do we have some information on that at the moment? You can hear there's a bit of a smile developing on my face there.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are quite excited about using the cellular version, obviously, because it allows you to then leave your phone completely and when you're out and about and still get those calls, still make those messages and send those messages. So I think all we can say at this stage is, keep on looking out. Maybe just have your eyes on the My iStore website every now and then, because I think there's news soon about this. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It's been confirmed that it is coming soon, everybody. It is definitely on the way. Don't have a final date to give you all at this point, especially because of lockdown and all these restrictions that we have at the moment. But it is definitely on the way, everyone. It is coming soon. So keep your eyes open for that, as Maurice said, on our My Asta website. Then remember, everybody, we've been trying to show you how you can track your activity every day, keep yourself nice and healthy and active. And what's important then, guys, is that you can go into the activity app on your iPhone and see this as a graph and go, hold on. So on these days, it was okay. Hold on that day, I didn't really close my stand ring. And you can start to see an overall picture as to what your fitness journey is looking like day after day. So you don't have to just, wait for the watch to give you that weekly update. You don't have to just hope that you can go through the history somewhere. How do I find this? Go into the activity app on the phone and you can track all the stuff. And by the way, Maurice, there's other information that we maybe want to look out here. For example, there's little green dots next to a couple of days. What's actually happening there? How is this helping me in my fitness journey?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think what's nice about this little view here, it's a nice overview. You can look at the whole month. You can see the dates that you were more active. You can maybe see maybe on the weekends, you may be a little bit less active. And then also in my case, in terms of maybe looking at this one here, you can see towards the end of the month, maybe there was a bit of like a little not so active period, right? So it kind of gives you a nice overview and it helps you maybe to see that you maybe need to pull up your socks and get going again. But the other information also you can pick from this, if you look at those little green dots, those are the days that you actually did workouts. So every day that you do a workout, you can also then see those are your activity rings for the day, but also those are the days that had workouts. So it's a nice little way just to track things month by month.
Absolutely, 100% right. It actually shows you what days you did work out. Amazing. Speaking of actually tracking what you're doing, you can also in the activity app follow your trends. So this is amazing. It's going to show you when you've been trending up or down. This is fantastic. So Maurice, it looked like you've been doing pretty good. Hold on, what's going on here on your trends? Maybe you can tell us how you were able to achieve such incredible trends and what this means when we see a screen that looks like your screen here.
Yeah, definitely. So looking at this, again, you can find this in the activity app on your iPhone. So at the bottom, there's a little tab essentially, and it says trends. So you need to go and click on that to kind of open this view. Keep in mind, this is something that's a little bit more long-term. So it's not something that kind of changes day by day. It actually looks at a 90-day average for you, and it compares that to the last year. So if you've been quite active for the last 3 months or so, obviously your trends will be looking upwards. So in my case, luckily we have a little bit of a farm that I actually stay on. So I've got a bit of space. I can still go for a little walk. I can go for a little run. And it just means I've been able to keep my trends upwards. But I think the important thing here is to make sure those arrows are pointing upwards. Track your kind of trends over the last 3 months. And again, to kind of stay fit and active, trends is very important to kind of just track that.
Absolutely, Maurice. And I think also what we forget is that we don't just have to see things as, a snapshot. We can get an overall graph of how everything is looking in full detail here. So guys, not only do we have the watch app and the activity app, but on the iPhone, we've got the health app. The health app is amazing. It lets you track so many different areas of your life, whether it's sleep or nutrition or, of course, activity. And activity, if you look at this, guys, it's going to show you graphs. It's going to show you every day, weekly, monthly, year on year, how your health data is looking. This can be things, as you can see, like your exercises and if you are hitting those goals. Are you standing enough? Are you burning enough calories? What's great here as well, everybody, don't forget, is in the health app, your heart rate data is being saved in here as well. And what's even more amazing is that you can go into the health app, go to the heart rate data section and get an overall chart of how your heart rate data is tracking. You can see so many different bits of information here. And what's great about that is that you can then share that with someone, for example, a doctor, right? If a doctor wants to know, you say, listen, keep an eye out during these times on this type of information for me. The health app is going to keep a chart of all the heart rate data and you can share that out. So again, not only just an incredible fitness device and a great gadget from Apple here, which a lot of people think, yeah, it's the Apple Watch, it's cool. This is really about changing our lives. It's about saving lives. And for me is a mind-blowing moment, right? So as we mentioned, the ability to go out there and track your heart rate through a graph and share that out. Guys, really, I encourage you to try this out. If you've got the Apple Watch and you haven't done this, this just gives you an overall picture as to how things are going. And by the way, during this lockdown period, as we say, we're not as active as maybe we wish to be. So this is a great way to go back and say, hold on, How was I in the weeks before this? How was I in the months before this? Oh, wow, I actually was moving around the office a bit more. I didn't even realize I was getting my heart rate up on a regular basis just by going to grab a cup of coffee or going to get, a glass of water once every hour. We don't realize that we can be more active, right? So this is absolutely incredible for me, right? I think it is a game changer. Now, Maurice, what we want to do then is make sure that the watch works for us. So the watch is all about customization. It's about giving us the experience we want. And so what does this mean? Well, everybody who's got an Apple Watch, you already know that you can customize the faces pretty beautifully, right? What it means is that, like we spoke about that force touch earlier, where you give yourself just a nice hard push on that screen, nice hard push on that screen, everybody, and it gives you, again, force touch, meaning you can change the watch face. There's so many to choose from. Classic ones and Mickey Mouse and, sun and moon and astronomy and beautiful things. But we've got complications, and complications are something very interesting in the watch world. So a watchman will tell you that to make a watch, you just need the time. The minute that your watch has something like the date or a stopwatch or anything like that, it's unnecessary to what a watch function is. And so a watchmaker calls extra features a complication. But us being a digital watch, it's digital complications. These are shortcuts to your favorite features. So for example, right, what can I do? I can select a particular watch face. I can tap on customize, and I can add the shortcuts that I want. I can make the ultimate fitness watch over here, right? I can give myself shortcuts for heart rate and music and workout and so much more. In fact, Marius, this is what we call the infograph watch face. And from what I understand, you can do quite a few complications on here to make it the ultimate fitness watch for you. How many am I seeing here, and what other kind of features can I expect to see on this face?
Yeah, quite right. So you can actually have 8 different complications on this particular watch face. And I think for someone that's quite activity focused or workout focused, you can kind of customize them all to be aligned to that. So for instance, what we're seeing on the one on the screen, there's a shortcut or complication to the workout app. You can go straight to your heart rate app. You can check out the weather, maybe if you want to go outside. You can check out the UV. And all these things will hopefully give you a quick access to the things you need to kind of get a workout going. So yeah, you can have 8 things on there. It depends on your watch. So this is on the watch series 4 and series 5 because they've got slightly larger displays. If you got anything before that, you can obviously still have complications, but not as many. In this case, you can have 8. So that's awesome.
There we go. We're just getting 1 or 2 questions. Do doctors and SA support data being shared from the watch? Like, would they trust it? Again, right, so keep in mind, this is going to be on a doctor-by-doctor basis, right? So we can only, encourage doctors to take the information and use it and actually recommend that, say, listen, this is very, very important. It's accurate medical data here. So some doctors might go, look, it's not for me. It's just an Apple Watch. But, we're saying, look, this is tracking real, valuable heart rate information here. And if you want to share it out with the doctor, then it doesn't hurt. If your doctor wants to use it, it's doctor by doctor. It's up to them, right? But somebody also just wants to know what's the difference in something like the normal Apple Watch Series 5 and the Series 5 Nike edition. It's a partnership that Apple has with me, and it's actually pretty tremendous, right? What they've done here is they've just done a bit of a kind of more exclusive fitness-focused watch. So what is the difference with the Nike edition? Couple of basics. It comes with a couple of Nike watch faces that are exclusive to the Nike edition. So you won't be able to add those watch faces to a normal Series 5. So it's these really sporty, beautiful Nike-inspired looks that you can only get if you've got the Nike edition. On top of that, believe it or not, guys, there are certain colors that are copyrighted to Nike. So they've got certain colors like Volt Yellow, for example, right? And if you want to use that yellow color on your watch, you can't really use that tone of yellow on a normal Series 5. So again, a bit of exclusivity. The other thing to remember is that the Nike watch faces always have direct access to the Nike Run Club application. So again, a lot of people love that as their favorite workout app, which me and Maurice are going to talk to you guys about in just a moment, some apps on your watch. So again, you'd have to maybe download that and add that as a separate feature on a normal Series 5. As with the Nike one, it's already built in. And the Series 5 from Nike, comes with separate watch bands, right? Not the standard, fluoroelastomer or those beautiful soft like plastic bands or the rubber bands that come with it. Again, comes with something a bit different, maybe something a bit more sporty or perforated for extra breathability and sweat resistance. So it just depends on the style and the features that you're looking for, but functionality is pretty much identical. So, Maurice, I'm noticing on this infograph, the more I've been looking at it, we've been looking at things like heart rate and music and workout, weather. My goodness, I can see if it's good to step outside for a couple of moments and do a little bit of, gym. But there's something in the bottom left there, almost like a bit of a flower jumping out. What is this, guy? It's called the Breathe app. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the Breathe application.
Yeah, and I think this is something to consider in terms of being, I guess, holistic in your health. So obviously it's important to be active and we want to stand up and we want to do these little exercises, etc. But also I think from time to time we want to maybe take a bit of a break, right? And take it a little bit slower, focus on our breathing, because also that's also a very big part of being healthy is breathing, right? And maybe doing a bit of a breathing exercises. So what's really cool is you can obviously launch this from your complication if you had set it up. Otherwise you can open the app manually, but once you're in there you can then decide, like, I want to take a minute worth of breath, which will be 7 breaths, as you can see at the screen at the moment. You can change that up to 5 minutes, so you've got the option to kind of change, like, just how much do you want to concentrate on your breath maybe for the next few minutes. And then what it actually allows you to do is to guide you through that process. So it'll tell you to inhale, it'll kind of do a little nice little animation, so hopefully it helps you to do that. Exhale. And then once you're done, you actually get like a little summary screen that says, like, yeah, well done. You've done 1 minute's worth of exercise today. This was your heart rate, because I think these two are also linked in terms of trying to, just kind of relax and slow down your heart rate. So the Apple Watch can remind you to do this if you want, or you can activate it if you want to do it manually. And it's one of those things, maybe after like a nice workout, you want to go and sit down and take a couple of deep breaths. And again, the Apple Watch can also help with that.
Absolutely, guys. And as Morris was saying, this is so important to just sometimes slow things down a bit. We've got very fast-paced lifestyles, especially, even think of lockdown, we might not be moving fast-paced, but it's a stressful time for a lot of people. So this is the Apple Watch saying, take a minute, take 60 seconds and just breathe. Regulate your breathing. And this is really, really good for your heart rate. And of course, it's good for your body as well, guys. Doctors say just slow it down for 60 seconds. It's really good for your health. So now that we know that, we've got a question in the bottom there, which again, Bridget, we're actually about to answer right now. So as you can see, the Apple Watch is not just a fitness companion and a health companion, but it's also there to help you with so many other things. For example, it's also a guardian. Apple Watch, guys, has something that we call fall detection. So I see somebody was asking a little bit about, can we talk about fall detection, right? So what is this about? Well, this is incredible, guys. Apple spent a long time studying the way in which the human body falls. They study the trajectory of what happens when the human body maybe slips. If you slip backwards, if you slip forwards, if you faint, if you fall, whatever it might be. And so Apple Watch actually can figure out all these things. It uses advanced sensors in the watch to understand how the body falls. Based on this motion, and then if there's been an impact, right? If something actually knocks and there's been an impact, the Apple Watch can detect this and it will say to you, it looks like you've taken a fall. It's literally a friend standing there saying, are you okay? Looks like you've fallen. If you're okay, everybody, you've got 60 seconds. You just brush it off. You go, no, I'm absolutely fine. And you tap, I fell, but I'm okay. So the watch actually gives you a minute to say, look, I'm watching out for you. Tell me what's going on. Are you fine? And if you're fine, then just say, I'm fine. Absolutely okay. But here's where something gets really, really brilliant as well. Morris, if you don't respond in that 60-second period, and let's say, unfortunately, someone has had an accident, because this is not a feature that we want anybody to have to use, but it's incredible to know that it's there. So what happens if I don't, somebody doesn't say, oh, I'm okay within 60 seconds? What then happens on?
Yeah, you're so right. And I think this is another reason to be wearing your watch, even if you're just in and about the house. But what will happen if you don't respond after 60 seconds? Obviously the watch will kind of keep track of this, and then it'll send a notification to your emergency contact. So as you know, this is something you can set up on your phone. You can put the details in there. Usually it's like your spouse or your family member or something. It'll send them a little notification that says it looks like Alon has taken a fall, and also send actually the map of where he's at, so that they can hopefully do something from their end. But in addition to that, actually, if you also have your phone close to you, it'll actually also phone emergency services automatically. So in my case, because I'm with Cell C, it'll dial the Cell C emergency services, and then hopefully you can get some help. So yeah, awesome feature.
Amazing, amazing stuff, guys. Literally, we're hearing stories all the time from all around the world how people's lives are being changed by this. They have a fall, they're not able to respond. And as Morris said, call emergency services and send a map out to your favorite contacts to say, I need help, please. Amazing. Robert just wanted to know, how do I maybe stop this warning if maybe, we're building and moving the hands around, or he's hammering something, or maybe it almost gives him that false kind of fall detection because the body is picking up that there's some irregular movement. Not a problem at all, guys. All you're going to do is you're going to go into your watch app. I'm actually doing it here so we can talk about the steps together. You go into the watch app on your phone. you go into the section that's called emergency SOS, like we're looking at right now, and there's the button fall detection, and you can just turn that off. So if you worry that it's going to detect something during a moment where, maybe you don't need it detecting it, or I've had people say to me, what if I play soccer and I take a bit of a tumble during soccer? You can turn it off during those moments, guys. Keep in mind, pretty amazingly, right, it's also going to say, hey, by the way, if you're over 65, it's going to turn fall detection on automatically. So if you're over 65 and you put on an Apple Watch on day one, fall detection will already be active, right? Pretty amazing that we're looking out for the world. Pretty incredible stuff. So just something else to keep in mind though, guys, it's not just about all the things we've spoken about, workouts and heart rate and fall detection and so many great features. But the Apple Watch, remember, we said it right in the beginning, is about it's there to serve you. It's there to make your workouts like that customized to you. And so you can actually even now and go and get apps right there on the App Store of your watch. You can go into the App Store on the watch. You can browse through things. You don't have to do this through the phone anymore. And you can start to add fitness apps. But the thing is then, I've already got the workout app. So maybe you can tell us an example, Maurice. Like I see this fitness app here on the screen. What's actually happening here? What does the watch do that feels a bit different to something else that I've tried in the past?
Yeah, I think you're right. So firstly, definitely you can use the App Store directly on the watch. So if you've got the newest software, which is WatchOS 6, this is available directly on the watch. You can download cool apps. As you can see, it says Get. Tap on that and it'll install directly onto your watch. But I think what's pretty cool is, like we know in the whole ecosystem, there's all the built-in apps, and they're awesome. And those are the ones we've been focusing on for pretty much the whole session. But also there's this whole world out there of developers making other apps, and some of them are focused just on this, right? So the only thing they do is they focus on health and fitness. And, they've also got some awesome apps. So in this case, you see there's one called, Home Fitness Workout by Get Fit. And it's got like a bit of a customized training plan, right? So this can take you through a whole training plan, which includes a whole bunch of stuff, including, maybe some high plank knee to elbow, a bit of a pause. You can do some scissor kicks and jumping jacks and all these things, and it'll keep on tracking you. There's actually a few. So this is one. I think there's another one there, which is called Streaks. Yeah, this is the one. So similar, nice and easy to use. And this one was suggested by actually someone that uses this a lot, and they almost like, they swear by this because it's so easy to use. It gives you like a quick little workout. You can then go through the activity and the motions, and also tracks your heart rate. So I think people should really consider looking at third-party options as well. There's a third one, I think, this one here, which is by Runtastic by Adidas. Kind of same thing, right? So it takes you through the motions of doing crunches and whatnot, and it's going to kind of help guide you through all those things. And again, this is maybe for people that are home and you don't have all the, you don't know all the exercises you can do. For instance, you can do jumping jacks, and you can do like a little bit of a scissor jump or something. But there's actually a whole bunch of stuff you can do, which maybe you don't know unless you're like a fitness expert. So what's great about these, it'll actually take you through and guide you through it, even to the point, and I think we've got a slide on one, that if you have an Apple TV in your house, so how awesome is this? This is that same app, actually, by the way, this one by Adidas, the Runtastic app. It'll actually show you on the screen, for instance, a nice little example of how to do a particular exercise. And also it links to your watch. So essentially it'll track your workout on your watch. It'll show you what to do on the screen. And hopefully by seeing someone doing it, you can possibly get a bit more active and actually do something that you didn't know you can do, and stay active that way.
Amazing stuff, Royce. I mean, we forget this Apple ecosystem and the way that it all just interacts. We spoke about the AirPods switching from device to device. Now the Apple Watch and the Apple TV interacting together, where I've got a coach right there on my TV, like I'm doing a gym session, right, live in my house. And I can then get guidance on my Apple Watch, which is going to vibrate and tell me it's time to switch, and absolutely awesome stuff, right? So these are just some of the things that you can do when it comes to the world of Apple Watch and trying to stay a bit more active while we're all at home, guys. We've spoken about so many great fitness features, guys. Just think about some of these things we've covered today. Whether it's something like, activity app, for example, right? Or workouts, or even tracking heart rate and customizing the watch face. So many things that can make it work for you, right? But this is just touching the surface, because again, remember, we spoke about apps and fall detection, and the list goes on and on. It really is the #1 fitness and health companion in the world. So guys, all I can say then at this point is thank you so much for joining us. It's been wonderful having you on the line, and we hope you guys just had a little bit of fun with us, learning some great techniques about the Apple Watch and some cool features and how to stay more active at home during this lockdown period. But remember, please visit myiStore.co.za there are plenty more sessions available that are going to help you with things like productivity on your iPad and your Mac. We've got photography sessions on the iPhone, so many things. So visit our website, everybody, see if you can book some other sessions. And that is it for today. We hope to see you again another one. Stay safe, everyone. Keep well, and we'll see you all again soon. Marius, thank you very much, and we'll chat to you again soon.